Every Pokemon episode ever podcast is now on YouTube. Go on YouTube and search every Pokemon episode ever podcast and click that subscribe button to never miss an episode. Welcome back, everybody, to another fantastic episode of the Every Pokemon Episode Ever podcast. I am one of your hosts, Wrestling Chris G, and on the other line with me is the one with the secret photographs. It's good old Dougie Fresh. Dougie, man, how you doing?
I really am starting to hate my nickname. They're not getting any better, and that one's really bad out of context.
It is kind of bad, but that was the reason I picked it this week.
That's horrible.
And all right, and I had this one in the can for a very special occasion, but visiting us and coming onto the show this week is our friend and the first female to come onto the podcast, good old Mel. Mel, how you doing?
I'm doing great. That's actually really nice to hear.
Yes, you are. You are the first one. You would have been the second one, but there was only one co-host that was available that came on the show that day.
Oh.
The wife had other things she was doing.
Other commitments.
Yes. So Mel, like I said in the intro, we are like we're friends in real life, and I just do you want to introduce the audience to you and some things that you're kind of interested in?
Oh, yeah. I am like one of the biggest female nerds on the face of the planet. I literally have reached a new peak in my life where all I do is watch YouTube of Dungeons and Dragons playthroughs and anime. And quarantine really was rough on me, guys. So,
It was rough on all of us.
yeah, it was real rough on me, guys. I literally did nothing but sit and play games, and I'm kind of sort of becoming a gamer girl, and I don't mean just Sims 4 anymore. Um, so,
Okay.
uh, yeah, no. So the big thing about me is that I'm a big like Dungeons and Dragons player. You can't get any more nerdier than that now. And but now you know what? Now it's kind of like the cool person thing. Like everybody that plays Dungeons, it's like how like when like Marvel and comics and stuff used to be like for nerds and only losers would do it, and now like it's all what the cool people do now. That's what Dungeons and Dragons became. So
It's funny. Ever since I got back into Pokemon, it's Dungeons and Dragons and it's WoW that comes up on my.
yeah, WoW did a big comeback too, and I may or may not have a subscription for that as well. They're
I,
basically the same.
I have a subscription to Elder Scrolls, so you can't get nerdier than that on the PlayStation.
I mean, that's fair. But yeah, so it got to a point where I got so nerdy about D&D that my friend and I, who is actually the dungeon master of a campaign that I am in, literally all we do is talk D&D and everything. So his now wife actually was in the middle of a conversation between the three of us, and she was like, you guys should just do a podcast about this, just talking about Dungeons and Dragons because you guys are so into it and everything like that. And so at first we were like, nah, there's no way. There's no way we can like have a topic like that and stay relevant. And then now it's extremely relevant, and we're like, well, I guess we're gonna do this. So let's get you guys married first because that's important right now. So now that he's married and everything like that, and he's not stressing out about a wedding, we're while he's in the middle of making season 2 of our campaign, he and I are kind of like, all right, well, let's go ahead and start getting ready to do this. So hopefully I'm hoping middle summer, we will be having our own podcast where he and I literally shoot the shit about Dungeons and Dragons and just geek over all the different things that that world has to offer.
Okay.
So hopefully coming soon to a podcast streaming service near you.
Hopefully, yeah, I'm hoping so. And just like I said before, if by any chance that it is up, it's gonna be in this description, everybody. So go and look, hit the back button, and you see that little link. That's hers. That's only if it's up and running, right?
And if it's not there, you can read the description over and over again.
Yes. So, all right, Dougie man, Doug,
What happened?
how you doing?
I'm awake. Who said I wasn't?
Oh fuck, Doug. All right, so all right, but yeah, that's Mel. Everybody, she's gonna stick with us through today's episode. This interesting episode. I'll put it that. So
That's a word for it.
so for people that listen on a weekly basis, or if this is your first time listening to the podcast, we like to go back in history on the specific North American date that this episode came out. So this episode today came out in Japan, July 23rd, 1998, and here in the States, April 17th, 1999. Now, I know damn well with mine that Doug has to have me beat because mine was in 2011. So am I right, Doug?
Oh, yeah. I don't think you've been more right in the 53 episodes that we've done this show.
Of course. So like I said, people, add that to your drinking game that I am not going first again. Just saying. So, Doug, what year did yours happen?
So, on this date, April 17th, in 1492, Christopher Columbus signs the contract that basically begins the whole discovery of, quote-unquote, the Indies, which ended up, by virtue of a few wrong turns and some headwinds here and there, ended up inadvertently discovering America.
Did he, though?
Technically, it was South America.
Well, I mean, you know.
Like, I think it was Ecuador.
Well, look, if you want to split hairs here, we're going to veer off into
We're going to be here all day. I'm sorry. I started that. All right, Doug.
But yeah, like I said, I don't think you could be more correct in your assumption that you're not going first.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not hard to do when you're giving me 2011.
Yeah. But not even just 1 week, Doug. 1 week. Just give me 1 week where I can go first, and it'll shock the whole
like
damn
I say,
world.
you could jump me and out of spite again. But...
In 1312.
Yeah.
All right. But mine this weekend, I would have picked that 1312 one, but this one seemed a little bit more interesting. I have two this week, Doug.
Yeah, so even when you try to cheat and double up, it doesn't work.
I'm going to smack you. All right. On April 17th, 2011, I'm going to go in order by the time that it was released. But both of these were in 2011, and this was the day that Thor premiered in Sydney, Australia. And this is also the same day that later that night on HBO, the hit series Game of Thrones premiered on HBO. Ain't that some shit?
That is some shit.
That's my stuff. I love me some Game of Thrones. That I will watch that 50 million times and it still won't get old besides the last season. Yeah, we don't talk
about the last season. There was no last season.
Yeah, they're continuing it next year. That's the last season or the next to last season.
I am both excited and nervous and
scared.
Maybe aroused. I can't decide yet.
Doug. So, I mean, I know you don't watch Game of Thrones, but that Thor, the first time Chris Hemsworth was on the screen and he hold around that big old hammer.
Well, listen, whatever you do in the box is your own. I mean, I don't want to kink shame anybody by any means.
Oh, to each his own.
I think I was more focused on
Natalie Portman
and even Kat Dennings, even though they tried to nerd her up.
Yeah.
I was paying more attention to Loki.
Look at that.
And this is topical because we're getting the series in 2 days.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow.
It's tomorrow.
As we're recording this, obviously, by the time this goes out, the show's over. But.
Yeah, it's over and it's long gone, but we're about to get it as of this recording. So let's go.
Yes.
I don't know why they bumped it up. Like,
that's going to be such a weird day to be approaching.
They were all lined up for a nice Friday release, and they said no.
There was a reason for it, and I think it had to do with like some sort of timing thing. Maybe they didn't want to compete with Bad Batch. Because I think Bad Batch comes out on Friday.
That's right. That might be it, honestly.
I couldn't tell you, didn't.
Disney's like, we can't handle that kind of traffic. Don't let them go.
What are you talking about? The whole site's going to crash the minute Loki drops.
Well, that's true.
Yeah, it is. I fully believe that we'll have another day one Disney Plus. Just put that out there. Couldn't even log. I bought it day one and couldn't even log into the some bitch.
Right.
But yeah, because their dumbasses gave a free year for Verizon customers.
Yeah. Nice.
So I have T-Mobile, so I couldn't jump on that.
Oh, you poor baby.
I know. But I like my service. They give me Netflix every month. I'll take Netflix. All right. Today's episode that you're coming on today, Mel, is called Pokémon Paparazzi. It's the 53rd episode released, and it's also translated from Japanese, Shutter Chance Pikachu.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, I think I'm going to stick with the American one this week.
I'm not going to lie, when I wrote my notes for, because I was good, and I was writing down like notes and stuff for this while I was watching the show, and because my lazy ass didn't want to write Paparazzi, it said Pokemon Pap, so I'm like, oh, Pap smear? That's a different
episode. Holy shit.
Pretty sure that's on the banned list somewhere. Probably came after Beauty at the Beach when they had to go get sand out anyway.
Oh yeah, Mel, if you want to be entertained, go back and listen to the episodes we reviewed that never made it to America.
Oh God, okay. I definitely want to listen to that. And I'm not, and it sounded sarcastic only because I'm on Spotify right now, like casually like scrolling for it.
James has boobs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And then he shaved Misty for being flat chested. It's a funny
body positivity, everyone. Come on.
Yeah, Doug didn't care too much for that episode because we had to do it twice because the first audio was lost.
Ban frickin' James to the Shadow Realm.
Yeah, so that'll be the only episode we ever do twice. If we ever lose an episode, it's lost.
We're not doing it. There's gonna be a bump somewhere, and you fans will know what happened.
Yeah, no, I'll come on to the next episode. I'll own up to it. I'm just not doing it anymore.
Unless it was a good episode.
Well, even then, I think you're gonna have to talk me into it.
Look around. You can find cars like these on AutoTrader. Like that car riding your tail. Or if you're tailgating right now, all those cars doubling as kitchens and living rooms are on AutoTrader too. Are you working out and listening to this ad at the same time? Well, multitasking pro, cars like the ones in the gym parking lot are for sale on AutoTrader. New cars, used cars, electric cars, maybe even flying cars. Okay, no flying cars, but as soon as they get invented, they'll be on AutoTrader. Just you wait. Auto Trader.
So, all right. But I'm gonna bring up so Pokemon Snap actually that this episode came out around the time that Pokemon Snap was coming out. Pokemon Snap, per wiki, because we all had different dates, but per the wiki, in Japan on March 21st, 1999 is when this came out. So about a month and a half later, Pokemon Snap came out in Japan, but Pokemon Snap came out for us first, and then we were able to play Pokemon Snap in July. Sometime
And I
in July.
was today years old when I realized that it's Pokemon Snap because the character's name in this episode is Snap.
True.
My
Mel had
husband-
a real epiphany.
Well,
My husband gave me the dirtiest look when he's like, "You just figured that out." And I'm like, "Yeah."
Hi, Jared.
He can't hear you, but I'll tell him you said I.
So, but yeah, the character that we're going to be going over in today's episode is actually the star of this video game. And I will tell you what, I played the death out of this video game when it first came out. Even though the Nintendo 64 is the only system out of all of our generations that I did not own. And I actually had to go over to my friend Chris's house to play this game because he was the one that had it. But we played the mess out of this. And then was hitting our head trying to figure out certain levels because this was like early internet where you couldn't really go online to figure out how to do it. You had to actually buy the book.
Right.
Don't you guys remember those days? Fun times.
I still have the Kingdom Hearts one.
Really?
Yeah, I have the original Kingdom Hearts book for Kingdom Hearts 1 for PlayStation 2. And I use it.
Well, there you go. I've every Kingdom Hearts I've played, I've just played through, and I know there's a million things I'm missing out of the game because I literally just play it through. So,
Alice in Wonderland is really hard, okay, guys?
it is. It is. So, all right. So, you guys ready to power up this episode? I'm about to put it on the screen right now, and I'm going to have it in the background with subtitles. Doug, are you good?
Make sure we don't get a strike here.
Well, we still haven't gotten a strike for that one episode that we don't know which one has the audio. So,
Yeah, I just remember it coming. I just remember it popping on. I couldn't pick it out of a lineup if I had to. But I think
you did it. You did it on the Vulpix one.
Well, don't go.
oh,
Sorry.
Our business, for goodness sake.
Everyone's going to be like, that's the episode. That
Bobby.
episode will be taken down in July at some point.
She was too quick with that.
My B.
She's getting us back, Doug. That was the episode she listened to.
I was gonna say that just happened to be the episode she was listening to.
That's what you get for shitting on my Vulpix.
But were we wrong?
Yeah, well,
I'm not saying you were wrong, but still, man.
Gotta call them as we see them here. We can't be. I don't. Does it count if I don't remember what I said?
We just kind of go through these episodes and just. So, all right. So this week, everybody, I'll start this up and I'll shoot it around. But well, first off, Mel, you have it on in your background right now, right?
I can get it on in my background.
Oh, okay, cool. If you get that on, then I'll be able to shoot it over to you, and we'll be able to smoothly go through everything. But this week, we have Togepi eating a rice ball at the beginning, and we have a nice lengthy section from the narrator to start, as he's telling the scene that our trio they're basically sitting down having a picnic, just having a good old time. And then we see we hear somebody talking, and we have what appears to be a gun creeping through in the grass. Doug, you want to take it from here?
I'm sorry. I'm still stuck on you telling a woman to get it on in the background. I'm just
Oh my god.
Oh, Jesus.
I've just.
Did you have to point it out?
Now it's weird.
All right. So, Doug, you want to take it from here?
Yeah, I didn't like the our first like little like introduction to, I mean, the character that we would come to find out to be Todd, like, because it's very creepy, because it's a close up on his mouth.
Yes.
Like, why?
Hey, how you doing, little mama? Let me whisper in your ear.
Oh, that's the song that came on. That's what.
Yes.
That's what that was.
But as you were saying, Doug.
No, it was just very creepy, and I mean, yeah, we see like through his point of view, he's got a close up of Ash taking a bite of a rice ball, and then he's got Misty's eyeball, and then he centers on Pikachu, and he's getting ready, and then that's when we get like a little bit of a sun flare off the lens, which kind of alerts Ash that there might be trouble in yonder bushes.
Yes. And it's at that point where Ash just goes bonkers. He tackles Brock, who has a full thing of rice inside of a barrel. And the barrel goes into the little lake that's over by them and starts drifting away. And Brock just looks back at Ash and he's like, "The hell was that for?"
He's very fond of his cooking.
Yeah, he is. And we come to find out Misty dropped Togepi, so don't put a baby into her arms.
Well, the egg's already broken as it is anyway.
I mean, yeah.
It doesn't matter. Like, what if that was just a baby? Well, it basically is a baby. It's a baby Pokemon.
Right, but it's already in a broken egg, so it's like, it's a net, and I mean... She's hatched. I mean, for goodness sakes.
Yeah, I guess. Did you know there's boy Togepis?
I thought this was a male Togepi.
I think this one is male.
Oh, it might be. Well, because
it's a 50-50 shot. I mean,
honestly, I couldn't tell you. I'd have to actually dig into finding out if Misty's is a male or a female, because later in the series, Misty comes back and her Togepi evolves into a Togetic, and that's a hell of an episode. And she gets a new body gear. She doesn't stay in the overalls her whole life.
No?
I know you clock that. You say, "Oh, Misty's got an outfit change."
Well, yeah, it's a full like turquoise green bodysuit. Because she's a gym leader now, and she has to dress professionally. She can't dress in her street clothes. But
well, she always kind of has been, hasn't she? Like, she kind of had that loose affiliation with her sisters.
Yeah, but her sisters they turn out to be a piece of work too later in the series too. But okay, back on topic.
They were just airheads before.
Yeah, they were. So Misty picks up Togepi. Brock looks over at Ash and he's like, "Well, what the hell are you doing? What was that for?" And Ash specifically says, and this is the difference between 90s cartoons and what we get today. Ash straight up points over in the grass saying he thought that somebody was going to shoot them.
Yeah, I saw that too, and I was like, wow, we're in a different world.
Yeah. So nobody, when he points over to the grass, of course, Todd, or who we come to know as Todd, kind of backs up so nobody can see him. And Ash is like, "Well, I know something was there," and he throws out his Squirtle and tells him to do water gun, and that's when we get the reveal of Todd. Mel, did you want to take this next part of the scene?
Yeah, so he's spraying. So Squirtle is spraying Todd, and Ash is really like, "Holy shit! I'm actually getting this guy who I'm thinking is going to murder me and my friends. I'm getting them all wet, so I better call back my Squirtle." And then Misty sees it. She's like, "Oh my gosh, is everyone okay?" And Todd is like freaking out about his camera, and honestly, I would be too as a fellow photographer myself. Those cameras are not cheap, and those lenses are even more. So he's like, "Yeah, no, everything's fine." And then Misty's like, "I don't give a shit about your camera. I'm more worried about you." And Todd's like, "This camera is my life." And I'm like, "Oh, well then."
Yeah. Doug?
What?
No, I was shooting it over to you.
Oh yeah, no, and then I would be in the same boat if somebody was coming after my PS5. I mean, I'm just throwing that out there. I mean, I wouldn't have my PS5 out in the front lawn, but teach their own. And then he's like, you didn't have to sink your Squirtle on me, and then Ash is kind of rightly because he doesn't have all the information. He's like, why were you? Pardon me. Why are you spying on us? And he's like, well, I was trying to take pictures. And Ash is like, well, you could have just asked us. And he's like, well, I don't take. I try to catch the Pokemon in their natural habitat. So,
which is
this
weird.
Poor guy, right, is under the assumption that Pikachu's natural habitat involves a rice ball.
Well,
I mean,
it was just weird because the way he said it, and this character makes things awkward. Like, he's an awkward character, and and this next scene, this is what gets funny because of the technology that they assumed that we all had at this very time during Pokemon. But they go back to, or Todd takes them back to his house or his little room, because I think it looks like only one room. But he brings them back to his place, and he's talking about how he's famous and that he's got the only photo of the legendary Pokemon Aerodactyl. And then we take a look at the photo, and Ash is like, well, that's me.
And then we have a pretty goofy line of, no, that's an Aerodactyl. And then, slap my forehead.
we're like, ah!
And then, Ash goes, you see that shape that the Aerodactyl's carrying? That's me. And then we go over, well, we have a flashback of Ash getting picked up, because if we can do some footage that we don't have to shoot new, then we're going to use it. And then we go over to Todd's computer, where he's actually pulling up the image and enhancing, and we can see, Ash with the hat and the vest. And he goes, well, I guess that is you.
Yeah, just the zoom in that he has when they zoomed in to show that it is Ash being carried. We didn't have technology like that back in the late 90s, because this is right before 2000. Do you guys remember having technology like that?
I remember Tetris.
Doug?
I too remember Tetris. No, I remember having a boxy computer like that, but I don't remember being able to like zoom in like I was in the CIA.
I didn't have any money. Nothing for that.
I had no money of my own.
I still don't have money.
Well.
So then he gets kind of a little slick line in on Ash, after they zoom in, and he's like, well, isn't this funny that everybody knows who I am, but nobody knows who you are?
I was like, ooh, shade.
And he's like, I'm world famous, and Ash is like, ha ha, you're hysterical.
see, but it took some restraint because a lesser show would have looked at the audience and went, "Yeah, well, you're not the star of a nationally broadcast cartoon, are you?" And then he would have winked.
Yeah.
And then you get that really like canned laughter from like those old 90s sitcoms.
And so going after that, Todd, well, Ash basically calls him out and goes, "Why were you trying to take a photo of us without asking?" And Todd goes, "Well, it wasn't you guys, it was Pikachu. And I need to get a picture of Pikachu, but I can't tell you why." And Ash's like, "What the hell do you mean you can't tell me why? You're trying to take a picture of my Pikachu." And he says he just needs a photo of Pikachu in Pikachu's natural habitat. And then we go into a screen of Team Rocket. Do you want to take this part, Mel?
Yeah, so it's a moment with Team Rocket, and they're disguised, very obviously disguised as this old couple that are saying, "Oh, we need you to capture this Pikachu. We need you to take this Pikachu. Please grant this old woman one last wish before she passes on," is specifically what Jesse says. And this poor child, poor naive child is just like, "They must have just had a Pikachu and it must have died. And I need to capture the Pikachu on film so that they can honor his memory, and I'll do it." But they were like, "No, but you can't tell anyone that you're capturing this Pikachu for us." And of course, we find out later, words are very important. So then after that, we come back to the present with Todd trying his best to take a picture of Pikachu in his natural habitat, and it's not working out so well.
No, because Ash is a dick.
Yeah.
All right, Doug. All right. Why is he a dick?
Well, no, because we established in the hut right before we sat down to have a breakfast of flapjacks. We established that Pikachu's kind of camera shy, like not so much camera shy, but like the flash kind of, makes it jumpy. And Ash is like, "Well, you could try, but we're not really, that accustomed to having our picture taken." So, old Todd here was bound and determined to get this shot. And he's like, "Well, you can't know that I'm taking a picture of you." So, he's trying to be all covert, and he thinks he's got one shot, and then, Ash just pops up and is doing the old classic anime, peace sign. And then at one point, he's upside down in a tree, hanging off of a tree branch. And Ash is doing it again. Suppose that would have been the best shot he got.
Remember, Ash is 10 years old.
I don't care. There's no excuse
reason
for being a dick.
No.
And here's the other thing. If you want to catch a wild animal in its habitat, you shouldn't be bumbling around like a fool, tripping over, making all the noise in the world, because you're clearly going to scare off the creature you are trying to take the photo of. So maybe if you were more inconspicuous about it, maybe you would have gotten that.
Yes. So, all right. So after that, let's see. What's the next thing? Right here. Okay.
Team Rocket's digging a hole.
Yeah, Team Rocket is digging a hole, and it's actually one of their better holes. And they should be taking note of this, because this is how you dig a hole, not the way that you guys normally do it. But they actually build
Wrestling Chris G, master of holes.
It is. This was a good hole, the best hole. Okay. I'm not gonna do that. All right. But yeah, after they built this hole, the trio goes walking over to it, and of course, as they're walking over, they fall into the hole. And from when they fall into the hole, Brock is on top of Ash, Misty's off to the side. You would think they would have learned how to brace themselves for holes now. As many holes they drop into. Doug?
How do you? I mean, I'll quote, Attitude Era JR when somebody takes a bad bump off a ladder. How the hell do you learn how to fall?
Well, Misty knew to duck right.
Okay, the next time I see you, I'm going to push you over, and when you fall and break your wrist, I'm going to say, well, you should have braced yourself. Because if you don't know that it's coming...
I mean...
This is true.
True.
I mean, yeah, you're not wrong that it's not the first hole they've fallen into, but
instinct should be taking over even regardless. Even as when you're a baby and you fall and stuff, like your arms just automatically go catch.
A baby can float in water better than I can.
Did you try?
No.
did you experiment?
No, I'm joking. I'm talking about like babies on their back. Like you can throw them in the water and they just they float like little turtles.
Oh God,
No. Wrestling Chris G can swim. I can't swim. I had to save my cousin this past weekend because his butt almost drowned in the water. That was fun.
Drunkards. I had about 4 or 5 bad jokes that I'm just gonna.
No, let it out, Doug. Let it out.
No, because they're horrible. And I'm not proud of myself, so we can just move on.
I'm kind of utterly suspicious now.
I'm too, and I'm very curious.
If y'all remember when we're done, I'll tell you one of them. But
I literally just wrote it down in my notebook.
Oh shit!
So we'll know, but all of you fans won't know.
The one guest that we have that takes notes.
So okay, and this I kind of felt for the trio because I would have been like, what the hell? So they're in the hole, they're looking around, they say, oh, this could have only been the work of Team Rocket. And Todd walks over to the hole and he's like, how did you guys get down there? The fuck do you mean? How the hell did they get down there? They get down there and he's like, okay, I'll help you out. And the trio calmly starts looking around, and Pikachu pokes his head out of Ash's backpack, and Todd, instead of trying to help these motherfuckers, looks at Pikachu and goes, that's the perfect shot.
Hey, the mind of a photographer never rests,
But that's bullshit. Dude, I would have been pissed.
I mean, exactly. And honestly, I thought we're still looking for natural habitat. A Pikachu in a backpack ain't a natural habitat.
Well, no, but I think you have to zoom out and you have to realize it's a Pikachu in a backpack in a hole. You can't get very more natural in a hole.
And when he's trying to go for the shot, he still doesn't get it. And Team Rocket is over in the bushes looking over at Todd because they overheard Todd say, oh, this is the perfect way to catch this Pikachu. And they're like, why is he talking about capturing a Pikachu and holding up a camera? And Meowth takes out a book and it goes, Todd, the best at capturing Pokemon on film. And Team Rocket just gets pissed the hell off at Meowth and just box him up into the air because they had just paid this boy.
Did they pay him?
I don't think they paid him. I think he's doing it out of the goodness of his heart.
Oh, okay.
Which is even worse.
I mean, this is the 90s.
Yes.
Pack of baseball cards and some bubble gum, something.
Trade some Pokemon cards. I'm joking.
There
I'm
you
joking.
You're getting real meta now.
Oh, God.
Although I suppose there would be cards, right? Because the matches are on television, as we can see in the pilot.
Yeah, Doug. Yeah.
So what do you mean? You can't do that to me after I proved your point.
I didn't ask you to, Doug. But we go back to Todd, and Todd finally gets a photo of Pikachu. He's like, I did it. Okay, now just a few more.
Because you gotta have a backup,
I know. But it's at this point that he starts to see the ground starting to crack. And Doug, I'm going to hand this part over to you.
Yeah, so as soon as he sees the ground starting to give way, he doesn't give a crap about his extra shots. He's like, grab the rope. The Ash and Pikachu tumble into the sewer. And luckily for Brock and Misty, they were on either side of the crack, so they were fine.
Thanks for the help, guys.
Yeah, well, Todd jumps in after him, and Pikachu and Ash are being carried downstream, and they're holding on to Ash's backpack for all that's worth.
Yes. And let's make mention. You know what type of rope that was that he threw in, right?
I did not clock the rope, no.
Oh, it's an escape rope used in the Pokemon games, Red and Blue.
Oh.
That was their way of tying that into the Game Boy game. That's their escape rope.
Tying it in?
Yep. You caught it. You got me that time, Doug. You got me. But as Ash falls into or through the ground, we find out that it's right underneath I guess you can call it a river, which turns into a waterfall. And he starts flowing through, and Todd just jumps in, and he's running on the side on the concrete, trying to find something to give Ash. And without even thinking, right before Ash is about to fall out of this waterfall, he throws his very expensive camera out to Ash, and Ash is able to grab the cloth piece that goes over the photographer's shoulder.
The strap.
Yeah, the strap. There you go. And saves Ash. And of course, because we weren't going to have Ash die in this episode, but he was hanging off of a waterfall, like legit hanging off. So,
like the end of The Fugitive. Yeah, so we have the whole heartfelt, oh, you saved us, and then we have Ash comes to the quickly realization, oh, that's your camera, and then Todd, completely out of character, the way he's acted the whole episode, goes, forget about the camera, just focus on hanging on. And I'm going, what the? Talk about a 180.
Character development.
But
that's it, character development, that's it.
And since these two were fighting, I mean, you glossed over the one line that I just thought was hilarious. He said, hang on, Pikachu. And didn't even acknowledge Ash right before Ash started speaking. Oh, you saved me. You saved me. You really came after me.
Yeah.
Well, he remembers who his primary target was.
Primary directive.
Yeah.
And it's at this point that we see Team Rocket over in the distance as Ash is hovering over this waterfall, and Jesse and James are basically like congratulations and thank you for helping us. And they reveal themselves as Team Rocket. And Todd is like, oh, shit, I made a deal with Team Rocket.
Well, he goes, you tricked me. And they go, you tricked us first.
No?
No, I think you guys tricked yourselves.
He was open and honest from the beginning.
And then Meowth has a net, and he's able to reach over and scoop up Pikachu off of Ash's shoulder. So they've gotten Pikachu. So as far as Team Rocket's directive goes, they honestly at this point they shouldn't care.
No, they shouldn't. And dumbass Team Rocket should have been running and getting out of here. But of course, it's a kid's show. Pikachu's never gonna go away. So what happens? Oh, we didn't even say that this bag is made out of rubber, so Pikachu cannot shock through it.
I did write down in my notes. I was like, very good job, Team Rocket. Look at you using science.
Yeah, they're tired of getting shocked.
Step up from that giant mesh net that they had all the Pikachu caught in that one episode for all of like 5 seconds.
Yeah, for real. So, and it's at this point that they look over at Ash. Ash he has the camera and he's like, "Say cheese." And we look back at Team Rocket, who James has a bomb in his hand. Doug, where'd this bomb come from?
Imagination. I don't because it's not the first one because he's thrown like 2 before this.
Yeah, he threw like 2 or 3 at the waterfall, which I questioned of if the bomb has a lit wick and you're throwing it into water, does it still work?
That's a fair point as well.
That is. Mel, you stop making sense on this kid cartoon podcast.
Fellow listeners, seriously, I want to know that will it still work? Not like a mine.
We're going to get an email next week. Yes.
Where's the Mythbusters segment?
So, as Ash is pretending to take a picture of Team Rocket, Ash tells Team Rocket to smile and then look right. And they look right, and James has the bomb in his hand. It is lit, and it goes boom. And that's to say, what kind of bombs are these that Team Rocket
really
has?
Shitty bomb. Because
it didn't do shit. I mean, Jessie is sitting there looking at her makeup after the bomb went off. Doug?
Yeah, I mean, totally must have been from the Acme catalog. I mean, straight up from the Wile E. Coyote collection. Because, I mean, complete duds, basically. Smudges everywhere. Ash calls out Bulbasaur to do Razor Leaf to cut the bag. So while Team Rocket does get points for it being rubber, so for them not to get shocked, it's apparently weak rubber because it just got ripped to shreds by Razor Leaf.
Yes.
And then, and they're getting vine whipped, and they jump into the river to escape from the whipping. And
the river just takes them, and there's another waterfall.
three waterfall forest over here.
Yeah.
And then Jessie has a very nice light poem before Team Rocket plummets to their death. Well, presumed, I suppose.
Yes. Do you have that poem, Doug?
I had it a second ago.
I can say it. I have it right here.
If you've got it, yeah.
Yeah. It said, Team Rocket drifted down the stream, and now we scream. Ha, ha, ha.
plummet. So they don't
they don't blast
off. They wash away, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, according to Team Rocket earlier, I mean, Meowth did blast away this week when he got punched into the air.
He did get KO'd into orbit for being a smartass.
Yeah. Freaking Jesse has a better arm than Mayweather. Papa.
Well,
oh God,
it would have been all right if that was an actual fight, but this was more like grown men hugging for money.
Money.
I know that as much as they got paid from that. Everybody, we're recording this on June 8th of 2021. So this past weekend, we just saw the Logan and Mayweather fight. And
it's not a fight.
Yeah, it wasn't really a fight.
It was a dance.
So we go back to Ash, who calls back his Bulbasaur from helping. Misty and Brock are running over, and they're like, "Oh, are you guys okay?" And they're like, "Yeah, we're good." And Todd's like, "Yeah, but I gotta buy a new camera now." Like, dude, nobody's talking about your camera. And then Pikachu comes over and jumps into Ash's arms and almost takes him over the waterfall.
Well, I mean, I've fluctuated. I'm kind of back on, because at least Todd waited until, everybody was safe and on solid ground before, because he could have made that comment about his camera as they were hanging off the waterfall.
It's true.
Yeah.
I mean, at least he knew that everybody wasn't going to, plummet to their doom, and he's worried about the camera. I mean, Pikachu jumping into Ash's arms did almost knock him back over.
Yeah, it did. and then Todd saved him again. Ash owes Todd like a lot. Ash almost died like 3 times.
2 life deaths. He owes him 2 life deaths.
Yes.
Which is probably equivalent to 1 camera at this point.
So Ash, go and pony up for a new camera. Yes.
Which is going to push Misty's quest for a new bike back just that much further.
She does end up getting her bike back, though, one day.
Yes, but you're talking multiple seasons down the line at this point.
Dude, no. Like 2 seasons prior to... Yeah, it was 2 seasons prior to the season they're on now is when she got back her bike. 2 years ago. So you know how far we have to go? That's thousands of episodes.
I was going to say, see, so it's not like, oh, she's going to get her bike back like next month.
No. So, but they make the joke that they're all friends now, and Ash is like, friends? Well, yeah, I guess we can be friends. I guess so. Which was kind of dickish because he just saved your ass.
Twice.
And Brock makes the comment, he's like, imagine these 2 friends. Because Ash was a prick, as you said. So every time Todd was trying to get a nice shot, he's getting in the frame, which irritated the mess out of Todd. He's like, dude, just let me get the photo and I'll be gone. But I guess
that would have been it.
Yeah.
Because then Todd just would have went to the old couple, and then all that would have done was cause more work on Team Rocket's part, because they say, well, fuck it, we got to do it ourselves at this point.
Yeah.
But also it falls on him. If he's supposed to be this awesome, famous Pokemon, picture taker, you should know that if you're going to be doing any wildlife, and I said this earlier, if you're doing any wildlife, you need to be quiet, you need to be still, just take your photo, and then you turn around and go. So, yes, Ash is being a prick, but, Todd kind of sucks at this.
Yeah, just a bit.
Well, Todd is also, I mean, in all fairness, Todd's also used to just taking pictures of wild Pokemon. Pikachu is, by all sense of the word, at this, I guess, domesticated.
As close as domesticated, yeah.
I mean, look, how many Pikachu did you know can sit at a table with a fork and knife?
Probably most Pikachus. I'm joking. No, they be eating it off the ground and choking on a whole apple like Pikachu was a couple weeks ago. Yeah, Pikachu almost died.
And it was Ash's fault because he wasn't looking that 1 second Pikachu walked away.
So, but yeah, that ends up ending the episode because once we get back, everyone is talking about Ash getting saved by Todd, and Todd is like, you know what? Why I don't normally take photos of humans, but I want to remember this moment for the rest of my life. So I'm going to take a picture of all of us. And then he runs into the frame and then falls over. And it's a funny picture of all of them laughing. And that's how we end this week.
Even though
He
that
slips
wasn't
on
a
a
photo.
he slept on a rice ball, right?
Yes.
Yes.
How long had that rice ball been there?
Yeah, I would say probably a hot minute.
Couple hours, maybe.
So I mean, it's not to the point. I mean, if it's anything, it's hard. It's not slippable.
It is rice, though.
Yeah, it is so
but
mushy.
Well, but wouldn't it mostly dry out? It's been in the sun.
Maybe.
Yeah, but not enough to be like rock hard.
Well, I suppose not.
All right, so it's this part of the show, right before we sign out, where we like to go over what we all thought. And this week, I'm gonna have Doug. What do you think out of 5 stars?
I have lots of thoughts. I mean, I'm stuck on the part that you forgot to do this part. You had to jump back in and do it.
Oh, jeez.
Calling you out.
I'm not going to go into why.
Oh my god.
The people on this call know why, and that's all that matters.
Oh man.
Got one of them snorting over here.
Oh, Doug, out of 5 stars, what do you give it on your Dougometer?
About this episode or this phone call? Because this phone call is about a 5.5. No, the episode's probably this episode's probably about a 4.
Really?
Well, I mean, just in the grand scheme of things, and I feel like we've had this discussion on a couple of different episodes. As entertaining as it was, nothing really happened. Like, nothing's going to matter next week.
Well, Todd's going to be there next week.
Well, Todd's going to be here, but, like, Ash is no closer to catching a Pokemon. He's no closer to getting another badge. He's no closer to...
It's funny. The opening the opening dialogue at the beginning of the episode is Ash hasn't gotten a new badge in a long time, and Misty kind of busts on him by saying, "When are you gonna get another badge?" And he starts to sweat for a second. And he's like, "I'm gonna be a Pokemon master. I'm gonna get it."
And again, like I said earlier in the episode, a lesser show would have made some kind of fourth wall breaking joke about whenever the writers feel it's necessary.
Yeah.
Mel.
I'm not going to be so kind and giving as Doug. I'm going to give this a 2.5.
Oh.
Okay, because I'm going to give it a 3, and I want to hear what you think.
My reasoning is that I absolutely despise filler. And
this is the definition
and it's not just Pokemon that does this. There are several animes that pull what I like to call the Dragon Ball Z formula, where we have 10 episodes
and only 5 minutes have passed in the universe.
Yes,
oh my god.
It literally I'm telling you right now, I'm currently trying to get through Attack on Titan, and there are moments where I'm literally just fast forwarding because I'm like, I already know this, but I feel that's the feeling I get from this episode of, oh my god, we're still not getting anywhere, we're still just walking along, we don't have another Pokemon, or we don't we don't have another badge. Opie dopey do. And it's just like, okay, look, it's been that way for like the last month and a half. When are we going to do this? When are we going to stop opening and actually getting some work done? So Ash, I don't care that you're 10 years old. You need to get your job done. You want to be a Pokemon master, you got to earn it and you got to work for it. And he's not working for it.
No, and to be honest, let's see. From this episode, he doesn't have a Pokemon battle until 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. His six more episodes, and then he gets a gym battle. So we have a lot of filler that it seems like is coming up.
Because he's too busy stuffing his face with rice balls.
Hey, those look like good rice balls.
No, you're both wrong. We're in America. That's called a donut.
I hate that so much. I hate that so much.
Why can't they say rice balls in America?
Because you can't say the word ball. Okay?
That is also true.
Well, this is, Wrestling Chris G is the master of holes, so we...
I am.
You've got the children to prove it.
Touche.
Sorry.
But, all right. And I'm giving it a 3 only because there was no real progression in this episode. If this episode never happened and then we just got Todd next week, I don't think anyone would blink an eye.
No.
No, probably not.
It's just a random person that's following them. And I mean,
with a camera.
Yeah, we didn't really get a Pokemon battle to be warranted anymore in my book. Yeah, there was really nothing in this episode for me. I mean, it was a decent episode. It's fun. I mean, they had some funny like one-liners and stuff, but I can't give it anything past a 3. So I'm giving it a 3 on my crystal meter this week. I got the polka rap going on behind me, and I'm sitting there mouthing the words to it. Oh, I love
That's
me
just
some.
because you have the subtitles on.
No, I actually, it's funny. Doug's making me for when we go over the Pokemon movie. I have a challenge to do the Poke Rap because I made the comment, "Oh, I know how to do the Poke Rap," and he's like, "All right, well, why don't you do it for all of us?" So I'm going to do it for the movie. So you'll be entertained when you hear that episode. So. But yeah, that's this week's episode. Thank you so much again, Mel, for coming on this week and joining us and sitting down and having our fans kind of get to know you.
Aw, yeah, thanks for having me, guys. It was fun.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Doug, do you have anything else to say?
Save the rice balls.
Freedom for rice balls.
Rice ball matters life. Or life matters.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Oh, man. I need to lay off this. All right. Rice balls, lives matter. There you go.
There you go.
There you go. But, all right. Well, like I said, thank you, Mel. And then, Doug, if you want to go ahead and give goodbye, Doug.
Goodbye, Doug.
And this is Wrestling Chris G telling all of you don't want to miss it next week. It's called the I talk for a living, everyone. It's called the Ultimate Test, or translated from Japanese, Pokemon League Certification Test, episode 54. We are 2 episodes away from the season 1 finale, everybody. So you don't want to miss that. So tune in next week, and we will see you then. Have a good night, everyone.